All right, all right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. We'll be joined shortly by my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. Hope everybody's doing well today. As always, let's turn off all distractions, grab a pen and paper, let's take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. And as always, we want to make sure that we're taking massive action. The action stands for accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for the outcome, centering yourself, body, mind, and spirit, ensuring a balanced approach to trading, trusting your education, strategy, trade skills, and intuition. Imagine your trade successfully materializing, obeying your trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, and never looking back or stopping once your trade has commenced. All right, so we are going to get down to it. Hope everybody has had a phenomenal start to their week and phenomenal start to your day. I know it's early, but let's if everybody can hear me okay, drop me one in the chat and we will get to it. Okay. All right. Cool deal. Can everybody hear me okay? Perfect. Thank you. All right, so let's slide over to trading economics real quick. Um see what's happening around the world. And first up, UK wage growth. UK wage growth slows. There we go. Slows for the fourth month. Regular pay in UK, which excludes bonuses, increased 4.9% year on year in the 3 months to August, a fresh low since June 2022, following a 5.1% rise in the previous period, and in line with market estimates. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate unexpectedly fell, the lowest since January. So we got some mixed data, right? We got wage growth slowing, but you got unemployment decreasing, right? So some mixed data coming out of the UK this morning. I will continue to watch things and see how the data continues to trend. They've had some relatively good data overall for the most part as of late. So we'll continue to watch and see how the UK fares and how the pound moves along with that. You had investor sentiment in Germany improve. Okay. Um, then kind of sort of some somewhat bigger news. Crude oil, WTI crude futures slumped 5% towards $70 a barrel on Tuesday after reports suggesting that Israel might avoid targeting Iran's oil infrastructure, alleviating fears of a major supply disruption in the region, right? Didn't say it directly, and they weren't confident in that, but they might. Just pay attention to the verbiage there. Um, Israel indicated it may heed U.S. warnings and focus on military rather than energy targets in Iran, although tensions remain high. Also, the IEA cuts its demand growth forecast, citing near record spare capacity in OPEC Plus and slowing demand in major markets like China. Uh, World oil demand is projected to increase by just under 900,000 barrels per day in 2024 and 1 million barrels per day in 2025, marking a slowdown from a 2 million per day growth seen after the pandemic. Chinese oil demand is particularly weak, with the consumption falling by 500,000 barrels per day in August uh, for the fourth consecutive month. Meanwhile, crude production in Americas is expected to rise by 1.5 million barrels per day this year and next. On Monday, OPEC lowered its global oil demand forecast for 2024 and 2025 for the third consecutive month, right? So we got continued demand concerns, right? While having a relatively higher production. Um, so and oil companies not using their using all their capacity. So tons of capacity left to take more oil if it is produced and if it is needed. So we'll continue to watch oil. We'll take a look at the chart and see what that chart looks like. But things slowing down with the potential of things easing slightly in the Middle East, at least in the short term. All right. Then we had Chinese stocks fall. Shanghai Composite fell 2.53% at the close at 3,201, while the Shenzhen Composite dropped 2.53 to 10,067 on Tuesday, erasing gains from the previous session amid concerns that China's stimulus efforts may not be enough to keep its economy from slowing further. Top Chinese officials laid out the country's fiscal stimulus plan in a briefing on Saturday without specifying amount of rescue package, although reports suggested China may raise an additional 6 trillion yuan from treasury bonds over 3 years. Meanwhile, data on Monday showed the Chinese export growth slowed for the fifth month um, to a 5-month low in September, while exports unexpectedly decelerated. Sharp losses were seen from heavyweights such as Easy Money Information, I Soft Stone, CNPC Capital, and Contemporary. Uh, Amprex, and Civic Securities. Right. So things still slower in China. They didn't give details over the weekend as many expected on this rescue package. They did say that there was capacity for it, right? They reiterated that, but they didn't say how much it was. If there is a confirmation of this additional 6 trillion yuan, that could turn the market around. But we got to wait and see. They've been kind of trying to play it by ear, seeing as the initial stimulus caused such a major shift in the market. They've been playing things closer to the chest, so we'll watch and see how things fare as we move forward there. All right. Um, mm, mm, mm. Yeah, and that's it from trading economics over to the calendar. We had some central bank speakers speak. Um, Governor Waller sees need for more caution, right? More caution ahead when lowering interest rates, right? He's one that people generally listen to a little bit. Um, so you have some Fed officials coming out saying, hey, we need to be a little bit more cautious. We might need to slow down a little bit. So something to for us to pay attention to as we move forward. But we'll keep some of those thoughts in mind. For today, right, there's that Claremont change the unemployment rate out of the UK. Um, mm, mm, mm. There's the average hourly earnings. I'm sorry, that's the unemployment rate there. That's the actual number. Um, and so later on today, we have CPI for Canada, right? So we'll watch and see. That could give us some insight on Canadian dollar pairs and where they might be trending, depending on how their inflation data looks. Empire State Manufacturing Index for the United States. More central bank speakers coming to the microphone later today. You got CPI for New Zealand. We've seen some of those New Zealand pairs on the move. And yeah, that's it for today. Tomorrow we got CPI for the pound. We have President Lagarde speaking, and then employment change and unemployment rate for the Aussie on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we got ECB rate statement, right? So we got eyes looking there. Let's see where the ECB will be going. Expectation is they'll cut by 25 basis points. So we'll watch and see how we trend as we get closer. Retail sales for the United States, unemployment claims, Philly Fed manufacturing in the morning as well. and then the ECB press conference. And you got monetary report hearings, so the meeting minutes for for the pound, crude oil inventories, and then data out of China Thursday night, and then retail sales for the pound on Friday with building permits. Waller speaking again. So some things in the middle of the week, but eyes will be sitting right here primarily for this week, along with some of that CPI data coming out from around the world. All right. So, any questions from a fundamental perspective? Benny, good morning, bro.
Ryan, good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. Glad to be here. How about yourself?
Ah, man, doing great. Doing great. Yep, rocking and rolling. It's earnings season, man, right
Awesome.
now.
It is. Talk to me about what you got top of mind, man.
Oh man, just seeing. I mean, we see the Dow hit a record high, right? 43,000. It's an all-time high. S&P continues to hit all-time highs. So we'll see. We'll see if the market can maintain this momentum. I think I think Bank of America and Goldman uh, are set to report today, I believe. Some other ones I have to go back and review, but I know those two for sure. So banking sector. So we'll see what happens. All right, see what happens. They're all set to report their third quarter earnings. So we'll see if the rallies can continue. Um, what was it yesterday with Nvidia continuing to move strong to the upside? So that's continuing to lead, the tech sector. So continue to look for opportunities to add to Nvidia positions. I only have one position in right now. Wish I would have been more aggressive with that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So ever since that split, so that's a since the split uh, when Nvidia, that's a record high. I think it hit yesterday.
One
So
of the things I did see is the government is talking about the potential of limiting the amount of chips that NVIDIA and um, other chip makers can export to certain countries.
oh really?
Yeah. So that'd be something that is being talked about, still under consideration. It said it may not happen with the Biden administration, but it is something that's being discussed. So we'll see how that develops if it does gain legs. But I don't see it being a major detractor, but it could potentially have an impact of some sort.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fight. They try to pull that one off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
when you talk about free market flows, and that's going to be a fight for that one to happen. But hey, who knows?
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, but
So
yeah, but I know there's some competitors out there that wish it'll happen because they Nvidia is gaining steam going into this fourth quarter. So
big time.
for I think what was it that I was reading that its market cap is now 3.4 trillion, the top 3.4 trillion.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that's unbelievable.
It is.
Yeah. And then what else was I reading in regards to that? AMD, right? So talking about competition, they launched the AI chip to rival NVIDIA's Blackwell chip. So
Yes.
we'll
Yes.
see. Yeah,
And
yeah.
AMD was
So
part of that report too of potential um if they block or limit exports to certain countries. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
yeah. So we'll see if AMD can compete with that new chip. So we'll see. We'll see, but
Yeah,
it's definitely something to keep a close eye on, right? These chip wars, right? That
it
seems to
is.
be, you know, taking off, building steam. So, but
It is
that's
for
it,
sure.
man. Just I'm always watching closely when we get these earnings, especially since the stock market is raging to the upside. You know, I'm always looking to see if anybody underperforms at this point. You
Yeah,
know, cause a
yeah.
little bit of a correction, but it's looking good, man. We got through September, which we know is historically, not the best month for stocks in the S&P. And yeah, we're halfway through no October, and moving into November and holiday seasons and things like that. And so we'll see what happens.
So can you talk a little bit about some of the stuff we're talking about yesterday regarding kind of the end of the year and what that looks like for stocks?
Yeah, usually once you get through September, you usually get stocks to get back on that upward path. They usually, especially December, usually going at midway through November, December, usually it's pretty good. For the stock market, you're moving into the holiday season. You got a lot of retail companies make their money, during this time of the year. So that's
Hmm.
why I'm paying close attention to what the earnings are looking like from Q3, because Q4 is usually pretty good overall for the stock market. You usually see pretty good activity.
Right.
I know we had, so out of September, we did get the correction in September, but I was always skeptical of how deep that correction was going to be and how long it was going to last because of what happened in August, because we saw a major correction in August,
Hmm.
before that September. So to me, September wasn't that bad, and we can see that the market recovered from that. So barring any type of major drama. The market seems to be moving right and pushing right through all the drama that's going on in the Middle East right now.
Yeah,
So
it is.
I'm looking forward to, a positive fourth quarter from the stock market.
Are there any particular sectors that you see as kind of we should keep our eyes closer on?
Again, like with everything that's going on with the rate cuts and everything, just your consumer discretionary stocks and things like that. I have to look at individual stocks, come holiday season, always looking at that retail sector, the Amazons, especially Amazons, companies like that, your retail type of stocks come holiday season. And then I'm still working on my due diligence to dig deeper to find, more opportunities, for this fourth quarter uh, in regards to historical, not just sectors, but historical, stocks that tend to do well in the fourth quarter. So we know
Yeah,
tech is running right now, but now it's like, what else is going on? And then this year, you were just talking about the stimulus out of China, so that's something else that I'm keeping an eye on, as we close out the year, is what's going to happen with the stocks in China and the market overall, over there. So
yeah,
I know lots of going on, but I'll definitely get to keep you updated on that in regards to what I find out.
yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Yep, no
Appreciate it big
doubt.
time. Team, you guys got any questions on any of that? No, no. All right, cool deal. Well, excuse me. We'll start right here with NVIDIA, right? Ben was talking about it approaching all-time highs, right? And we zoom back and take a look at where we are. We see we hit that de-extension, but we're approaching all-time highs here, 140.76, right? It was sitting at 139. The highest was 139.60. So we're getting back to those all-time highs on NVIDIA after a nice pullback. And this is on the weekly time frame. Let me do this. I'm going to circle this to come back to that point because we'll look at that fib. But 786 retracement headed toward a matching extension 158.35. And actually 89.54. Oh, it's 90. So no. That's actually shy of that 786. So that's a 618 retracement there, right? So the matching extension is 181. So let's see over the long term, right? If we're able to continue tracking upward to get to that matching extension at 181.03, right? That's on a weekly time frame. You see stochastic on the weekly still moving to the upside, right? So we'll continue to monitor, see pullbacks, continuations, right? As that stochastic has been moving to the upside, it's tracked, that's the low, moved up, we pulled back, moved up, slight retracement, and then continue to the upside, right? So back to that daily time frame, we'll run the fib off this low here where we had it, and we hit a matching extension there on the push up. I'm sorry, here on the push up. We got that 8.6 retracement at 135, right? So look for pullbacks and continuations. Okay, stochastic in the sell zone. Okay, so we'll wait for a swing high to form whenever that occurs, right? And then we'll look for that type of action there. Sorry about the dog, guys. Um, so looking for pullbacks and continuations on NVIDIA to the upside. All right. Coming down to the 4. 1 second. Down on the 4, we see also we hit the matching extension on the 4. The fib running off the same area, 8.6 level, boom, the extension achieved. Okay, so got things in alignment on the daily and the 4 hour. So, all right, we'll wait and see if we get a pullback, potentially back into this range here. Okay. See if we get a nice retracement like that, and then see if we get continuations, right? That was a previous level of resistance. Beautiful break. See if we get a pullback and retest, and then continuation tracking to the upside, getting to that 183 area at some point. Okay. Down on the 1. Boom, there you go. Just shy of the D extension on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so that's NVIDIA on the track long. Any questions here?
Nope.
Oh, all right. Cool. Cool deal. While we're on this side, BlackRock Institutional. This is the uh China ETF. Okay. Come back to the daily time frame. We know we had that long bullish run to the upside, right? And now we're pulling back. So let's see if we can get back into the 618, potentially 786 retracement area. Come back and retest some previous resistance zones here. Right? Test previous resistance. And then see if we get that continuation to the upside. You see yesterday ended a little indecisive. That stochastic continued to push down into that buy zone. Right? We looked at it on Saturday, was still up a little bit. So pressing down into that buy zone. Let's see how the market opens today. Right? And see as things continue to go back and forth in China, right? See if we get this retracement to complete, things will settle in, and see that thing move back to the upside, and see if we get some additional fundamentals to align with a bullish move there. Okay, so that's on the daily. Stochastic moving into the buy zone. On the 4, you see price pushed down and took out the A there on the 4. Right, and that's the fib running. That's a smaller wave. Sorry, on the capital fib, the 80-20, we're sitting at a 236 retracement there. All right. See that a little choppy there, but boom. Right. Haven't got to that 382 yet. So we'll see if we're able to potentially press deeper. But stochastic is again in the buy zone there on the 4. Right. And then down on the 1. This is where that sub fib came in at. Boom. On the 1, we're sitting at a 786. We got a 786 retracement here. We're just hovering that 618 retracement area. So we'll watch and see. All three stochastics are in the buy zone. So let's watch and see what happens over the next couple of days and see if this doesn't turn around. All right. So watching this one, four move back to the upside. Beautiful 80-20 on the gap down. Now let's see if we can get the CDD move back long. Okay. Questions on MCHI? Nope.
Nope.
All right. Cool deal. S&P 500. Continuing to track to the upside. Look at that. Look at that. Continuing this run. Let's see. Did that get to that level? 509.17. I'm sorry. 5095. So no, did not get to a 786. So that's a 618 retracement there on the daily. But that fib is closed. So it must have gotten to that 786 level. No, I manually drew that. Sorry. Yeah, so 786 618 retracement. My bad. 618 retracement. And we're pressing along. So matching extension on the S&P 500, 6,159. And it looks like that's where we're headed, right? We got breaks and retests, and we're continuing long, right? Continuing to make all-time highs, right? Continue to make all-time highs. So when Benny's talking about the stock market and it's and these funds and in their design, right? They're designed to go up. You get pullbacks in between, but they're designed to make money. And that's what they are doing. That's what they're doing. You see this slope getting steeper as it climbs, right? So we're headed to 6,000. Headed to 6,000. So we'll continue to watch and see. Got stochastic pushing toward that sell zone. So potential retracement coming, but overall we're headed north. Coming down to the 4. That's that fib that I drew in off the daily. And makes sense here on the 4-hour as well. Boom. Headed along. Same idea. Okay. Same idea. This one's a little shorter. Be there. Right? But same idea. 6,000 is where it looks like we're headed. Okay. Come down to the 1. We're running fib off this last retracement level. Boom. Right. We had the shallow retracement 118 to 127, but that break and retest of that previous resistance, that B boundary, right? Previous resistance here, headed long. Break, retest. Now we're continuing. We'll likely get to that D extension before we get a pullback. Okay. So watching this continue to track to the upside. And honestly, with cuts in the dollar, yeah, got some folks, saying we need to be more cautious and slow down. I get it. Benny said the market is shrugging off the tensions in the Middle East, and you see it, right? Everything's still headed to the upside. Rate cuts, money cheaper. We see cash running, right? So got stochastic in the buy zone there on the 1 hour. So headed to the upside, looking for pullbacks and continuation on the S&P 500. Questions here?
No, no question.
No? All right. Cool deal. Let's take a look at the dollar real quick. Here we're on the dollar, right? We got a slight push to the upside off the shallow retracement, trying to pull back a little bit now. We didn't get that deeper retracement earlier. But consolidating a little bit here, trying to press down, so we could see a deeper retracement on the dollar. Stochastic pushing out of that sell zone. All right, so it makes sense. So we got a swing high. That's on 4. Sorry. Come back to the daily real quick. Don't have a swing high yet on the daily. We had one here, but we pushed higher. Okay, stochastic in the sell zone. Pushing to the 118 and 127 zone here off the shallow retracement on the daily. All right, so we could see that retracement in the dollar coming, and then potentially getting low prices and turning back over. We'll see how things fare overall, fundamentally, to see if it aligns with that, right? But this was the bottom of the range. We could be pressing back to the top of the range here. Okay, so one of the things to keep our eyes on. Okay. So now back to that 4 hour. That's where that retracement could come. Okay. That's where that retracement could come. Right. So retracements, low prices, potentially continuation to the upside. And that could be more geared around safe haven movement opposed to yeah, could push more on the daily, yeah, for sure. Get to that daily level, absolutely. If we get a move back to the upside, it could be more geared around global tension opposed to anything else, right? Fundamentals align with right rate cuts and things like that. So we'll continue to watch and see how that tracks along and see how the fundamentals align. Right. So that's the DXY. Any questions here?
Nope.
All right. Cool deal. I want to take a look at this Aussie dollar. Talked about it over the weekend. Strong press back down. We've already got a 618 retracement here, right? We just missed that D extension. Strong move back down to the downside, stochastic in the buy zone, right? Stochastic in the buy zone. Had a swing low to form here, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. We press back down, see if we get a double bottom to form here. And that to fill out, confirming that low, and then a move back to the upside, getting us back to around 68, 695. Right. So we'll watch and see how this moves, see if we get that retracement there. And that could align with that retracement on the dollar. If we come down to the 4 and you see and you see, right, we're sitting right in the 618 retracement zone. So we'll watch to see how things develop here. Okay, we'll watch and see how things develop on this move back to the upside, right? If we break the 68, 690 area, break that, we could head to matching the extension and above. We'll watch fundamentals and see how things in Australia fare. I feel like I saw something regarding iron ore pulling back a bit as far as price is concerned. And that could have an impact in China. I mean, not China, but Australia, right? Along with things happening in China as well. So we'll watch and see how things develop from a fundamental perspective on the Aussie strength on this, but could be in for this move to the upside, right? In for this move to the upside. So as we continue moving along, whoops, I changed the thing. All right, this is the 4 hour. I apologize. That's the 4 hour there. That's that look. All right, so now coming down to the 1. Similar story. 618 retracement, consolidating in that zone. See if we can get things to turn back over, break back above that cloud, and give us that push back to the upside there on the Aussie dollar. All right, so confirm that daily low, right, with a double bottom type scenario, and see if we can get pushing along. Okay, questions on the Aussie dollar?
Nope.
Nope.
All right, cool deal. 1 second, everybody. All right, so that's the Aussie dollar. Let me take a look at the Aussie CAD. We got CAD data coming in soon. Here on the daily, we had a swing high that formed here. We pressed down. We'll see how today closes. Got stochastic pushing back up toward that sell zone. Right, and see if we get another swing high to form there. There's one there. And potentially, right, depending on how today closes, if we close another indecision, right, that could be another swing high to form there. We'll watch to see how the data comes out for Canada, right? And CPI data to see if we potentially could get some Canadian dollar strength, and kind of align with the things going on in the Middle East, right? So we'll see, we'll watch and see how things develop, but we got indecision happening now. Okay. Come down to the 4, and you see that just pressing sideways overall. Push, tap that 118 level, push down, right? Little crown type action here in this consolidation. We'll see if we get another move to the downside here on this Canadian dollar. I mean, this Aussie CAD, right? See if we get another move to the downside, and then we'll look at low prices to potentially get back long. Okay, so we'll watch and see what the data tells us. Coming down to the 1 in deep retracement area, right? 8-6 level. Do we come down and give a double bottom 786, 86 range, right? For then to move back to the upside. We'll see. There's your crown there, so it could push deeper as well. So let's watch this one and see if we get this to fully turn over. Break this cloud, give us that swing high on the daily, and then a potential move back down to the downside here. Okay. Questions on the Aussie CAD? Nope, no questions.
Nope.
All right,
Sorry. Nope. No questions.
cool beans. All right. Let's run through these euros quickly. Sure, Aussie still lingering. We'll see what happens with the rate statement, right? We got to push off the lows, double bottom there at the 8-6 level. Came back, retested previous support, right? Kind of serving as resistance now. We got another swing high to form there in that zone. So let's see. We got stochastic in the sell zone. So we could be in for another push back down to the downside. So let's watch this and see how things develop as we move toward that rate statement. But yeah, we could be in for another move back down to the downside. And we'll see if this level at 160 holds. Right. If it doesn't, right, then we'll be in a free fall. If it does, we could see another pushback to the upside. So let's watch and see where things go on this Euro Aussie. Interesting scenario. We talked about on Saturday, right? What would be the fundamental catalyst for the weakness in the Aussie if this was to move back to the upside? And that's ultimately what I'm looking to see, right? If there is something that aligns with that. We had a beautiful 80-20 here, shallow retracement 118, 127 zone, daily support, push that 382 level, boom, right? Now we got a pullback. Do we turn back over and push long again? We'll see, right? We'll see what happens here. But what would be the fundamental catalyst for Aussie weakness? Not sure yet. right? We'll see what data comes out and we'll see how things continue to evolve. If that is a case that is made. Okay. So that's on the 4. Down on the 1, right? Came down just shy of that 618 retracement level. And we're trying to press back to the upside, but you see we're just consolidating here. Just consolidating. So let's see if we can fill this out and continue pushing to the upside. Give us another move long. Give us another move long. We'll see what the ECB has to say. I think that'll be the initial insight that we get. Okay. So watching this one to see if we get a move back to the upside. That's where my eyes are sitting to see if I get some additional confirmation there. Okay. Questions on the Euro Aussie?
Nope.
No. Cool. Euro CAD. I just want to run through these euros and see where they're sitting. All right, you see from a weekly time frame perspective, we're just moving sideways. We need a break out of the box. All right. Pressing back to the upside now. We know we've had relatively weak Canadian dollar. We'll see CPI data and rate statement. What happens here? Okay. But we need a breakout, right? So as we come down to the lower time frames, we'll just continue to see that sideways, daily, that sideways movement there, right? Bottom of the range, we're pressing back to the top of the range, stochastic pushing into that sell zone. Okay, so we'll watch and see what happens. Not a ton right now, though. Just pressing back long. Pressing back long, we'll see what happens as we get back to these tops. Okay. On the weekly, we do have an 80-20, but that's been an 80-20 for a very, very, very long time. A very long time. We'll see if something changes in that, but as of right now, no. Right? So we come down to the 4, and you see more indecision. So nothing happening right now in this Euro CAD. We need a fundamental catalyst in one direction or the other. So rate statement, CPI data, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the Euro CAD. Nothing remarkable there. Euro Swissy, consolidation as well. Right? So we're looking for direction on these Euro pairs. Right? It's been some back and forth on what the size of their cuts will continue to be, how aggressive they'll continue to be, those types of scenarios. But right, we're holding here at this daily level, but just chopping. So we want to get a direction here, right? Stochastic is in between, not in the sell zone, not in the buy zone, right? So we want some things to align, and right now we don't have that, right? So similar to that Euro CAD, we're a little bit stuck in between. Okay, stuck in between, just consolidation here, right? Got a deep retracement on this 4-hour fib coming off the low, but right, do they cut rates? Does this move down? Do they cut less than expected? And do we get a push to the upside? Okay, so if price does this, then we will do this, right? And then on the 1, just taking fibs out in both directions, so nothing remarkable to take a look at there. Okay, so just consolidation on that Euro Swissy. Questions on the Euro CAD or the Euro Swiss? No? All right. I'm gonna skip the Euro GBP and go to the Euro Yen. Still trying to push through this way. This is on the monthly, right? Consolidating overall, right? You see we're pressing sideways, but we're trying to continue to push long. right? My bias is for this to continue to the upside, at least getting a 167, 166, 858, right? So that's what I'm looking for price to do over the short term. And we're trying to get there, but you see here, right? And this is on the weekly, just indecision. Okay. So as we come down to the daily, we see more of the same. Stochastic is in the sell zone, right? But it's just cycling back and forth. Just cycling back and forth. So maybe we get another pullback and then a continuation to the upside, but consolidating nonetheless. Consolidating nonetheless. This is a look on the 4. We got an 80-20 here on the sub fib to the upside. So we'll see if we get this pullback here. All right, to give us a deep retracement. On this one, I am looking for pullbacks and continuations long, right? Pullbacks and continuations long on the yen. Okay, they're not ready to make any changes yet. Prime Minister has come out to say, right, we want to be patient. He's also trying to orchestrate some things overall in the shift in the government, right? So we could see this thing continue to move to the upside. These yen pairs overall continue to, the yen to continue to weaken, at least in the short term, as Prime Minister kind of sets his pieces to the table, right? So hopefully I have more insight for you guys on that particular situation um, in the coming weeks. But that's what's happening, right? So looking for these yens to continue to weaken, right? So pullbacks and continuations on these. There's an 80-20 on the one, right? So if you want, you can play this to the downside, but then I'm looking for low prices to get back long. Okay. That's the euro yen. Pullbacks and continuations. So if you wanted to play that, right, you definitely can with these yens. That's a nice move. We got a cloud break, right? Kumo twist, lagging span below price, right? If we get a move back to the 618, that's 254 pips, right? Not a bad trade for then potentially another move back to the upside, getting that back in income. So let's watch and see how it develops there. Okay, questions on the euro yen?
Yeah, no question. But I was gonna say I'm in the exact same pair, euro yen to the downside short term. So
Short term?
I'm just pretty much So I'm just pretty much waiting for it to hit that level, 160, and then for it to play up. But on the 4 hour, the stochastic RSI is actually in the oversold. So I'm just to be a bit cautious,
Mm,
in a sense of just, am I to get in? Well, I'm in, but should I get out a bit earlier? But I'll wait just for a bit. I'll wait.
gotcha. Gotcha. Let's yep, pushing, yep, oversold, pushing toward that buy zone. I dig it. Yep, we definitely have some back and forth there on the stochastic. The daily is in the sell zone.
Mm-hmm.
Stochastic pushing to the buy zone. I dig it. Definitely. But you also get that right when you have consolidation as well, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got the back and forth on the time frame. So it
Yeah,
makes sense. But yes, definitely just continue to watch and manage, right? um, just watch it and manage it, right? If you're in profit, right, maybe moving or planning to move that stop loss to break even. Um, if you're at break even, planning when you'll move that stop loss to break even, right? So I definitely follow you on that. So let's continue to monitor and see how we move there. Appreciate
absolutely.
you on that. Kudos to you
Thank you.
on taking on pulling the trigger on that.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. No other questions on this euro? Yeah, drop some sevens. Drop some sevens. Making moves out here, man. All right, that's the euro yen. Euro NZD. Taking my eyes off this one a little bit, but right, I've had this on the chart for quite some time. Trying to see if we break this 173 level, right? But that will call for strength in commodity currencies, right? That kind of goes against some of the other thoughts that I have, at least at the moment. We've seen New Zealand dollar weakness. So I'm curious to see on how this one moves overall, right? This level is held 174, has held for quite some time, right? 173, 880, 1, almost 2, 3, almost 4, right? So what happens in this range? Okay, we're headed back to the top of the range, but what happens? Do we at some point break that level and continue moving to the downside, or do we break the top 186 and continue moving long? Okay. Give me 2 minutes, everybody, please. All right, I apologize. I had to make sure the kid was up and getting dressed. So we'll see what happens here on this Euro Aussie. I mean, on this Euro New Zealand, we got stochastic in the sell, pushing out of that sell zone. We got that swing how to form here. So we could be headed south and pull back, at least in the short term. So let's watch this and see. I'm curious on this move down. Check that out. All right, we got that swing how to form 1-2. See if we continue moving down and how far we move, right? We could create this inverted crown pattern here and then move back long. Let's watch that. This one is so interesting, right? So interesting. We've just been consolidating bottom, top, coming back down to the bottom, and then see if we get back to the top, right? So here on the 4, with that 382, and now we're pulling back, right? But you see that crown pattern there as the potential. Okay, so potentially a deeper move or a move lower here. So we'll watch and see. There's your 80-20 on the 1. Move down, so that is in alignment with that retracement there. That was a beautiful 80-20 that I missed. So looking for more downside movement in this Euro NZD, and then we'll see how deep we actually go. All right. Questions on the Euro NZD?
Nope.
Nope. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's see here. Take a look at the euro dollar. And then we'll peek at oil. Then we'll peek at oil. So euro dollar headed down. Weekly, right? You see we got that swing high on the weekly, pressing down, right? 2 candles to the right. And we're still headed to the downside. So let's see what happens as we get to these support levels here on the weekly, right? See if those levels hold. Right now, some of these euros are pointing to the downside, so we could continue to head down with that rate statement, at least in the short term, and then see if we get a California turn back over. But looks like this is headed down. That's from a weekly time frame, right? We got an 80-20 years, been an 80-20 for a long time, similar to that Euro CAD, right? But we got some strong levels here that are in the way of that continuing. So as we move down, look at that. That's your X butterfly or cipher pattern, right? Running that fib off that last leg, we're pushing into a 118, 127 zone on the daily. We could see a retracement come here. Let's watch this. Let's watch this. We took out that low, right? Pushing to the 118 and 127 zone. It's just a fib running off that last leg. Boom. All right, so 80-20 here on this move down. Let's see what happens. Do we get a pullback and then a continuation down, or do we see this kind of fly to the upside? Stochastic in the buy zone, moving straight sideways right now. Level of support. All right, so let's look for potential buying opportunity here on this euro dollar. And we also talked about, right, the dollar pulling back some. So we could see that here on the 4, right? You see that push down back to that zone. Okay, so let's see if we get price to turn over and move back to the upside, at least getting us back to the 382 on the daily, right? 110, 51, right? Potentially deeper. Okay, so as we come down to the 1, you also got an 80-20 here. Take these smaller deals out. See if we get price to settle in and give us a break of that cloud and a move back to the upside. Um, 109, 390 since 717, Joy. You got a long play on this?
No, it wasn't no long play. It just never hit the TP, and it's just been running. It's just
Hold on, wait.
it's just
So
been in there.
you short on it from
I
here?
was short on it on 717, and it never hit the TP. I just so
Never hit
happened
your
to open this
TP.
last night and seen this play still running.
Oh wow. It came all the way back to you.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, a beautiful example of set it and forget it, right? It didn't hit your take profit and it didn't hit your stop loss.
Nope.
So beautiful. Hey, great work. Set it and forget it. It came back to you, right? So now let's see. Let's see what happens. Monitor that. I don't know. I don't know. What's your take profit on it?
My TP. Oh, okay. 99860. And I don't know why. I will have to look at my journal why I assume such a play on it.
Oops, my bad.
And I think it was because of the daily.
109860. Is that what you said?
97056. I'm in
Um,
Odanda. So
I'm
that's
missing
probably
this.
why I got some.
I don't know.
Yeah, about
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, I got some funky numbers in Odanda.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. You mean like 097?
Yeah,
Ah, all the way down here. Okay. Interesting.
I'm sorry. I was saying after the decimal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's okay. Looking for a longer term move to the downside, coming back below $1, coming back in this range here on the weekly time frame. That'll be interesting to see. It's a long term hold off the weekly, getting you back to that 618-786 range. Let's see what happens. I'm curious. I'm curious. We potentially could see it over the long term, right? Depending on what happens with the dollar and with the euro and geopolitical tension and all of those things. So let's see. Let's
And
see.
this is just me
Let's mark this low.
experiencing like longer plays, and I think that's where I was going with this, and that's why it's in this account.
Okay. What was that? 99867?
97056.
7056. All right. Let's mark it. Let's mark it and let's watch. Give you a purple. That's Joy's number, guys. Let's watch it and see what happens. Cool deal. Appreciate you, Joy. We'll keep our eyes on it. All right. Ran a little over. Oil pressing to the downside. It's just be a quick look here. Because I do gotta hop, but oil pressing down, right? Saw the article, things potentially shifting, maybe, might be, in the Middle East as far as not hitting oil targets. But on the forward, we got stochastic in the buy zone, price pressing down, the extension 69.14. We'll come back to the daily. You can see that retracement coming there off the low. Okay. So let's watch this and see how things develop. We got this nice retracement coming, but it kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. Let me take this off real quick. Sorry. There we go. Boom. So what I'm saying it kind of makes sense is we broke this previous resistance level here, right? And we're coming back to retest that zone. I'm pushing a little deeper, right? Potentially coming back 68.92. We could see price push even a little further down. Stochastic pushing out of that sell zone to the downside. So we'll see as we get into this buy zone, do we settle in 786.86 range and then see fundamental shift and give us a push back to the upside. Okay, so we could see another price continue to push down today, maybe even this week, right? But do we ultimately turn around and continue pushing long? Okay, so we'll watch the developments here. 69.14. And then here on your one, see if we get a swing low to form here. And give us a new fib, run it down. Boom. So let's watch. Let's watch and see. This could turn into an 80-20 scenario. Swing low form, push back down into the zone, and then see if we get a reversal out of that. So let's watch oil and see how deep this retracement goes and see if we get fundamentals to turn around on. Cool. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir, not really. I am going to post I'm going to post the IYR, which is the real estate ETF for iShares, right? So spiders, the spider ETF for real estate is XLRE. So it just depends on your platform and what they offer, but it's one that we've been keeping an eye on, and it's starting to move out of the buy zone. So if you're trading Darwin, right, they do a lot of iShares, so IYR is most likely the one that you're going to find. But it's looking pretty good for a setup off of the daily chart. So I'll make sure I get that posted.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Donette, if you can post your gold setup also.
Yeah, I'm posting it now.
Appreciate it. All right, good people. You guys have a phenomenal Tuesday. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the pre-New York session. Also, if you guys get a minute, I'm gonna be making a post here in a few minutes. Today's my wife's birthday, so if you guys can go to that post on Facebook, wish her happy birthday. I greatly appreciate it. All right, Latasha Carthage, her name is different on there, but I'll make a post and tag her. You guys send her a happy birthday wishes. I'd appreciate it. All right, have a phenomenal day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you. Take it easy.